morning, everyone, and welcome back to my channel for No Offense, All Offense, the live stream talk show where I, stand-up comedian Joleen Lunzer, and Pop Culture Vulture gives it to you straight. Well, at least my unfiltered opinion of all things going on our favorite television shows, pop culture news, and crazy news in general. Today, we have a lot to talk about. There is still Big Brother 25 postseason things going down. We have Vanderpump Rules news. We have crazy news stories. So much. So sit back, relax, grab your favorite beverage, and let's have some fun. If you're joining in the live chat, hello. Please let me know all your thoughts, hopes, dreams, and opinions in there. And hit that like, you guys. Let's set a like goal for 200 and see if we can get it during this live stream. And if we do, then we'll set a second like goal for 600. Let's get crazy. Happy Friday, everyone. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day thus far. Oops. Do you guys not have any sound, or do you hear me? You have sound. Okay. All right. All right. I got worried for a minute. I was like, oh no. Oh no. No sound. But it sounds like you guys have sound. Okay. Sounds like it. So smash that like. If you want to support the channel further than liking or subscribing, you can always send a super chat while we're live. I'll highlight your comment. You can send a super thanks after the video posts, or you can hit me up on the Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. Links in the description and at the bottom of the screen. You can see all of that information, including my social media, where I hope you guys all follow me. All right. So let's get into it. Hello, everyone in the chat. I see you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Oh, it's your lunch break, Viv. Yes. You're so sweet. I have a wonderful lunch break, Viv, and let's have some fun. Okay. So we have to start with BB25 news. All right. I still am editing through these house guests love to do Instagram lives. And they're actually pretty good for the most part. So still editing through those. So look forward to some more videos coming out. But the big story is that America, BB25's America, half of AmeriCorey, went on this little channel. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of them. Rob has a podcast. I guess they're like up and coming or something. Went on there to talk to Rob and Taryn. Okay. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Taryn. He's pretty low key, to do an interview. And this interview is everything you've ever wanted from a house guest. Whether you agree with America's takes or not, can we stop and just appreciate her freaking honesty? We're not getting any of these like PR motivated BS answers. I like everybody. Yes. We're getting America's unfiltered, honest. It's what she really feels. And it's very refreshing to have a house guest leave the house and be so candid in these interviews. So the interview is great. Yes, she did not, like Jada's saying, hold back at all in this interview. And listen, it wasn't even that Rob or Taryn, no offense, all offense, were killing it in the questions. I mean, they asked the right things, but America was just willingly giving up so much information and not holding back at all. And it just warms my heart. It's so refreshing. Now, even I didn't, you might not like everything she has to say, but it's like, it's whenever I hear people being honest in the media or like, reality TV people or anyone in entertainment being honest, it's just so refreshing because we're used to kind of getting like the blander entertainment tonight, e-news kind of answers from people because they're like, I don't want to piss anybody off. And it's like, it's so boring. So America, she did not hold back, and it was such a good interview. So we're going to kind of look over some of the highlights. All right. Now I did put one of the highlights in my story. Okay. And it was America telling us what she really feels about Cody Cauliflower and Daddy Derek from BB16, the Hitman, and then Cody, who went on to, I guess, win. I guess there was an all-star season of Big Brother 22. I don't know. I only know about 7. I don't know about 22. Must have snuck it in. Apparently he won that or something. But she was telling us her true feelings about Cody, Derek, and the winner's circle to Rob and Taryn. And you could tell Rob and Taryn, they left like an awkward silence at the end where I wish they would have given her a little like, anything, like a little verbal confirmation of it's okay. But she didn't even need that. She's like, I'm just going to say it how I feel it. And it is very different than how her boyfriend Corey is. And when I've seen them in Instagram lives, he tends to want to kind of clean her up politician style. And I'm like, no, leave America, America. Hashtag save America. Okay. Don't filter her. We need voices like that, especially young women. All right, let's take a listen.
They hate the hitman. I don't care. I'm never going to be on, what is it, the winner's circle. I don't care to be on the winner's circle. I'll say it. So, yeah.
I was like, ugh. And not just because I have similar sentiments towards the hitman, but like you see people leave the house and they kiss Todrick's ass and they kiss Derek and Cody's ass. And you're just like, ugh, you can't all like them. You know what I mean? Like you can be respectful and stuff, but you gotta have another feeling about them. So it's just refreshing to have someone go, I don't like them. I don't like them. Because it was so frustrating to watch like Tiffany leave, BB23 and as America's favorite player and then go over and settle for Derek and Cody's channel when I'm like, girl, you have so much. I will say this till the day I die. She had so much heat on her. Like she was on fire. This girl is on fire. Not in a Nicole Anthony way, but in like a legit way. She was everything. She was the moment. And she went over there and gave it to them. And I'm like, no, build your own empire. Like I wish another woman would have just swooped up and been like, I'll be your producer. Let's make this shit happen. Because now I think, they've done that with like Chada and Derek Frazier and Tiffany. I don't know if anyone else is on it, but they have their own thing going on. But I feel like they just waited so long on that. And it's not like they needed to wait because they didn't want to talk about the season or talk about Big Brother. It was just that they gave it to Cody and Derek. And I was like, ugh. Right? April says that's refreshing to hear honest opinions. It really is. Even if I don't agree, I appreciate someone being honest. Ashley says, I loved America's interview on RHAP. It was the best one. The best one. Okay. So let's continue to listen to some highlights from this interview. And I just was kind of screen recording and stuff. And so we'll just do some little fair use commentary on this interview.
First off, I told my parents that I was going to be on Big Brother, and they're like, not big on social media, and light feeds on in the living room at all. She's like,
I skipped around a little.
So I don't want them to get involved. It gets messy, and if anyone's going to do social media, it's going to be me. So thanks.
Okay, so let's get to the part I'm looking for. Okay, sorry guys, here we go.
Twitter, I got, 2014, I was active. I tried to.
So this is her talking about when she got in to Big Brother, when she started watching and stuff.
Going into the house, I tried to delete as many tweets as I could that had the hash.
Oh no, this is a better one. So America, you know how we all thought she was like a fake person going into Big Brother 25 because she had no social media pregnancy presence. I too was like, she is AI generated. Her name is America. She has no social media presence and she's 28 years old. No social media presence. So she tried to hide her social media presence because she was a fan of the show and she knows how BB super fans are sleuths and they will find everything on you. But yet they still found her Twitter and social media.
I tried to delete, going into the house, I tried to delete as many tweets as I could that had the hashtag BB whatever on it. And still some of them were leaked. I was pissed. I was like, I made my account private. I deleted a bunch of my tweets, and then I meet Derek X and Joseph at the finale party, and they're like, I saw the tweets, and I'm thinking like, what the fuck? And then Claire comes up, and she's like, I saw you were thirsting over my man, and I was like, oh my god, like I want to kill myself. And then I had Brittany from last season be like, I heard you're not a very big fan of mine, but I still want to read.
So Brittany from last season, which I mean, I'm sorry, Brittany is, I don't get it, but okay. I'm not a big fan of Brittany either, but God bless. She hit America up and was like, I want to welcome you to the Big Brother family, but I know you're not a big fan of me, because America was tweeting like we do. And she was just tweeting about the show and about how she felt in real time watching the show. So Brittany, not from last season, from BB 23, sorry. So she hit her up and was like, eh. And then Joseph, it sounds like, who else did she say? Turner, maybe. So they found her tweets about previous seasons. And Derek X. I guess she was like lusting after Derek X. And then Claire saw her and was like, "Ooh, I hear you're lusting after my man." In a Claire way, not a serious way, in a funny way.
Out and say like congrats and welcome to the family. I was like, oh my God, like what? So I immediately went and I was like, who leaked my tweets? And somebody gave me the link to like all of it, and I was like, like,
sorry, not Brittany. Last season, Brittany BB23. I think she's talking about.
Oh, Joseph, I love you. Derek X, you have a chokehold on me. Like, Brittany, I hate you. You're a rat. It was just a bunch of shit. Like, I'm talking shit about Turner too, and some of them. Like,
maybe she was talking about Brittany from last season. I thought she talked about Brittany from BB23 because I feel like Brittany from BB23 like pops up, and you're like, oh God, she'll just come up, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember you. Oh, it's scary. It's like the scary movie jump scare. Okay.
Turner, if you support Kyle, you're a racist too. Like,
so she said she tweeted at Turner, if you like Kyle, you're a racist too. And now she's on a little trip. Her and Corey were in his hometown for Thanksgiving. Now they're in New York. They hung out with Izzy and her girlfriend last night, I think, or the night before she did this interview, which was a day or so ago. And then they're headed to Rhode Island to go hang with Turner.
And I was like, oh, I thought I had wiped that, but of course people were.
It's hard. I mean, to be fair though, like people loved those tweets. They weren't like, they didn't get you in trouble with the fan base, at least.
I know, but they got me in trouble with Brittany and Claire and and Joseph.
No, Claire
real trouble. Yeah.
No, I know it was funny, but at the time I was like, oh my God, get me back into the house. I hate it here. Like,
how did they leak? Do you know?
I don't know, because if you look at the screenshots, it does say on the side like follow. So it's not somebody that's following me. I don't know. Hackers? I don't know. No, people are kind of talented and
hackers,
tech savvy, and I got hacked. A-Dog 956 was important enough to get hacked.
Yeah.
That
was before your phone got stolen.
That was before my phone got stolen. I don't know.
So apparently America lost her phone when her and Corey went out, when they were back at his parents' house over Thanksgiving break. They went to Miami. We talked about this a little bit last No Offense, All Offense. And they went out with Joseph in like Miami, and it was their first time in Miami, and she lost her phone. Those drunken 20-something nights. All right, let's see what else we got here for you guys.
Because it was like 3 to 5 seconds where pressing buttons. That's my competition. I can do this. And I remember Kaser coming up on the screen. I immediately looked at Corey, and we were like, we knew before he.
So now she's going to talk about pressure cooker. So they're going to ask her some questions about pressure cooker and how annoyed she says she was when Kaser popped up on the screen for this iconic, pressure cooker competition finally coming back into the Big Brother universe. And everyone in the house was like, who was that? Girl, we were annoyed too that people had no idea about the legend of Kaser and the pressure cooker.
Said anything, like we knew what competition this was going to be, and we were all psyched, and it was so annoying to hear everyone around us being like, who's that? What is he talking about? Even when we're in the backyard, they're like, wait, what are we about to do? I'm like, we're about to press a button. We just won't let go. Everyone was so annoying, but whatever. That was the most fun I've had. It was so miserable. It was so cold. And I was like, in my head, I was just like, this is so amazing. Like, I cannot believe I'm playing Big Brother, and I cannot believe I'm playing the pressure cooker, like, out of all competitions.
Well, you went so far, and...
Okay, I think this is where they ask her, you went so far, why didn't people were so mad they wanted to see you win? Why did you kind of give up and let Cameron get the win? And you were so close within 3 minutes of setting a new record herself.
Like, out of all competitions.
Well, you went so far, and I think a lot of people...
Like...
Okay.
But could you just talk through a little bit with us, because it was so long ago and we haven't gotten to hear you talk about it. So why did you want to give up at the point you did?
So I think I went into it and I was like, I'm not going to throw this competition. I want to win, right? I want to go all the way. This is my comp. I could already see it. I could already see the BB Daily Updates tweet. America has won HOH, right? But I mean, when it came down to it, it was me, Mimi, and Cam. And I was like, I feel good with Cam. I don't feel good with Mimi. Let me see how far this goes. I was like, if Mimi drops, I think I'll consider dropping to Cam because I know I'm going to get good position with him, or I thought I was. But if Cam dropped, I think I would have kept going with Mimi. But yeah, I mean, when it came down to me and Cam, I was exhausted, just like physically, mentally, it was draining.
And apparently America talked about how she did, like, I think I remember her talking about this a little bit in the house on the feeds, but a Mr. Beast competition during 2020 COVID. I think there was some kind of virtual Mr. Beast hold a button pressure cooker type competition, and she lasted 40 some hours.
And, you know, I think I had already talked to Corey, like, about who I was thinking of putting up. And he was like very, like, against it, right? I was like, oh, I think Suri and Izzy, like, they have to go. They're running the house. They kept doing this. He wasn't going to let me do that. It was going to be Red and Bowie. And that's so lame. I was like, oh, I
hate that though. That's just, he wasn't going to let me do that. Girl, you can do whatever you want, but I get it. You're working as like a little team, but I do think, I mean, I know America's very happy for her showmance and that her and Corey they're allegedly going to Nashville together where he goes to school, and she's going to move there for a while he finishes school to see if they can make this thing work. But I still think that her game probably, I know they make points in this interview of she would have probably left earlier without Corey in the game. But I don't know if you can say that because you can't be for sure that all the pieces would have fallen into the same place. They're like, well, no one would have been here for this. But how do we know? Just like with George Bailey and It's a Wonderful Life, how do we know things would have even played out in that way? You know, how do we know? Well, would George's brother even fallen through the ice? Maybe it was George's idea to go sledding that day on that pond, down the hill and onto the pond. And then maybe without George, I mean, I don't want to ruin the whole It's a Wonderful Life premise, and that's my favorite Christmas movie, but maybe it was George. It's like, hey, Harry, let's go down to the pond with a bunch of our other friends and go down this hill and sled down the hill over the icy pond. Maybe it was George's idea. And had George not been there, had he never been born like he wished, and Clarence gave him his wish, maybe Harry would have never even been in that position. All right. And so, because they say, your brother Harry would have died. He would have drowned if you weren't born. It's like, but maybe he wouldn't be in that situation because maybe it was George's idea to go sledding. Okay. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there.
I want to have to do that, but I also don't want to be the one to draw the line because I felt at the time that I was sort of in the middle of both.
And then it went to a commercial, which is so annoying.
Maybe I was, but like I was sort of in between, right? And with Cam, I was like, I feel good with him if he keeps me and Corey safe, and accidentally kept Matt safe too. Then I'm all right with it. Like, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, like the path to power would have ruined because Matt would have saved Suri or whoever she wanted.
Exactly. And then the next week, my ass would have been grasped because Jared won the Be the Odd Couples. So I would have definitely been targeted that week if I had taken that shot week 4. And also, what a waste. I cannot imagine being Cam and going that long in the pressure cooker only for it to be like a dead week, right? And all for nothing. So also, I was like, oh, K-Star got second. I can get second. I was like, I just want to get K-Star.
I can get second. And I mean, exactly. It was definitely to bring back that iconic competition and then to have it be all for naught is definitely frustrating on Big Brother Productions' behalf. Okay, let's check out. I mean, it gets messier and messier as we go along. Let's see what this one is.
Bowie Jane was on live here in New York City.
Okay, so they're talking about Bowie Jane, and Bowie Jane apparently, I haven't seen this live. I'll have to look it up on her Instagram and pull it, but she was on live, and I think an AmeriCorey fan came up behind her and interrupted her to talk about AmeriCorey and AmeriCorey stans. And in this little clip, I think America shades Blue and Jared, aka Blairid, and she's like, "Who's that? Never heard of him."
And somebody comes up to her and they're like, oh, I'm from the Pound Town AmeriCorey Discord, like one of the leaders or whatever. One of the people that came up with the name in the group. I love AmeriCorey. Can you please like tell them that I said hi? Thank you so much for being nice to them. So and they're like, oh, America's birthday's tomorrow. I don't think I ever like announced like, oh, my birthday's tomorrow, guys. Like, so they know all these different things. It's so funny. I mean, I love it. I think it's super cute. I know Corey likes it too. I'll catch him every now and then, like on the phone, like hashtag AmeriCorey and reading through like the latest tweets coming out, like seeing all the fan cams. Oh my God. OMG, they're so funny. Like we saw like the Pound Town one with like the different Nicki songs, and the one to Gas Pedal is so funny. So it's been fun to see like, you know.
So they're just enjoying the AmeriCorey because America thought leaving the game, everyone would hate her. She was like, I didn't get to play the game I necessarily wanted to play. She felt as though she effed up Corey's game by having a big mouth. And she just thought he's probably, you know, a favorite because he got the, you know, Path to Power competition or whatever. So, you know, he was picked by America, not the player, the country. And so she was really worried. So to come out of the house and see that they were actually had a whole fan base for them, she was surprised at. So she's just explaining how much they really love Twitter and they check it all the time and they love the AmeriCorey stuff.
Everyone being so like, you know, like passionate about it and they really like us. And I'm like, okay, like it's nice to get like that sort of reassurance that like I did something right? Like, because I felt like such a fuck up when I came out of the show. I was like, oh my God, like, and y'all saw me like just crying that last week, like, oh my God, I ruined Corey's game, like I suck so badly. What kind of super fan am I? So it was nice that, you know, people like didn't like, you know, they liked the sloppiness a little bit, even though I didn't, you know, they appreciated it a little bit or didn't like beat me up about it, which is nice.
Did you see the Blairid fan cams? Rob was a pretty big fan of those.
The Blairid?
Yeah.
We'll send it to you. We'll send
She said, what's that?
Who's that? I don't know that. I haven't seen this. I don't know. And you know what? Like,
I think there was just one.
Yeah, there's one.
Okay.
I don't know who made it though. It's some sort of DJ.
I do know who made it. Yeah.
Might have been Jared. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. No, I haven't seen.
America says, who's that? Who's Blairid? Who made a Blairid cam edit, you know, or a Blairid edit or whatever? And she said, probably Jared.
Only see mine and Corey's. We really do, like, we're on Twitter all the time. We're reading every single comment, and we've muted a bunch of people, like any sort of like negative comment or even, well, we didn't mute that person with the tweet that I just said because that was kind of funny. But like if it's like really negative or like just mean and nasty, like I'll mute it because I want to be able
not block, but mute them.
I mute, yeah, not block. I just think that's easier and that's better, and that doesn't give them the satisfaction of knowing that I blocked them. But I
think that's pretty genius. I mute people too. I block people though too. But I think because, like she said, don't give them the satisfaction, so just mute them, and then they think they're talking to you, and they're just talking shit into the ether, and that is the best revenge.
want to see that, you know.
Yeah, have you had any offers of like people paying for trips? I heard that's a thing.
We haven't had anybody offer anything yet.
You gotta get on that. That's the sweet deal I heard.
I know but I don't want to be the next Kyle and Alyssa. You know, I would, but then what does that say about us? You know.
So Taryn brings up the fact that you got to get on this like free trip showman's thing because remember Kyle and Alyssa got a trip, so they went to Europe, but then they had this time they spent in Hawaii, and I always thought he was maybe house sitting or something, but I think what they're saying is a fan of theirs, of their showman's, gave them a free trip. So America, being a super fan, she's like, oh yeah, I know about that. But if we get that, that would make us count Alyssa. Gross. And what does that say about us? The shade, April. The shade is just, it's so refreshing to hear people just speak their truth. You know what I mean? I appreciated it.
So I'm fine just like doing cameos.
Did somebody pay for a trip for them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they went to Hawaii last year, right?
I didn't know that.
A fan.
And that worked out really well for them.
I watched it through the audition process and the interview process. I was like, as motivation. So it's just like completely surreal that like I'm now getting requests and people want to hear from me and are paying for that. It's super cool. And
she also talks about her cameo and how she's just like blowing up on Cameo. So America got so many requests, she had to, right when she opened her Cameo, that she had to just pause the request for a little bit. And she says she's a procrastinator, so she has a hard time completing the cameo. So Corey basically has to stay on her to get it done. But she talks about how at first she was doing like almost 5-minute cameos. And Corey was like, that's too long. You're going to be here for the rest of your life.
It feels like, you know, like, oh, whittle me. Like, I don't deserve this, but it's fun. I like it.
Have you connected with Janelle after the season is over?
I haven't, because I'm shy. You know, I have had some, like, you know, BB alumni like reach out to me, and everyone's been super sweet and great. Everyone's been sending me like tweets that Janelle tweeted about me. There's this really cool one of me morphing into her, which I wish were the case, but I suck at comps. But yeah, so maybe I will. Let me drink a little bit, and then maybe I'll send her my shot and send her a DM. But I haven't yet.
Yeah, you gotta maybe somebody will order a cameo from you for her. And she'll have one of you that she can play when she's watching the Traitors. She'll be like, "All right, America has me."
She's like, "She's got my back. America's a fan." I'm like, "Yes, Janelle, I love you. Even though you're a Cam fan." I
did see an endorsement for AFP.
What was that?
I did see an endorsement for AFP.
For Cam?
I believe so.
Yeah, I did too. That's why I had to reach out, because I did see that as well. So I'm like, oh, maybe she can't be trusted.
So America is a big Janelle fan. I mean, who isn't? I'm sure there are people out there. But Janelle, I didn't even realize that Janelle was going for America's favorite player for Cam and put out a tweet for that. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, because I think, you know, a lot of these former house guests, they don't really watch the show like we watch the show. So they might just kind of, you know, try to tune into, well, what's the popular, you know, who do people like? And maybe Janelle was getting a feel for like the casual, or Janelle was just seeing him through the edit. And if you watch him through the edit, you know, he seems pretty awesome. But then if you watch the feeds, you're like, no thanks. At least, no offense, all offense, but that's, you know, feel free to have your opinion in the chat, but that's how I feel. I wasn't a Cam fan. So America saying maybe we can't trust Janelle. Like, even though I'm a big fan of her, America said, and I love Janelle, but maybe we can't trust her if she had, you know, Cam for AFP, which, you know, is pretty funny. So yeah, Janelle's from Minnesota, and she was pimping for, I don't know why. I don't know, Julius. I feel like she was just doing the casual thing. You know, Janelle probably only had watched the episodes, because I doubt she watches live feeds after being on the show so many times. I know for a fact Janelle does not watch live feeds. No, she probably sees clips here and there, but she's not doing that. So she's probably just, you know, going from what she saw on the episode, which is obviously what a lot of America, the country, not the player, did. Speaking of which, I do want to highlight this for a second. Yes, so Suri was invited to like a woman's power variety event, and we have a picture. Let me share this picture of Suri, and she was there with like Candy Burris from Real Housewives of Atlanta, obviously from Escape, Grammy Award winner, and Real Housewives of Atlanta, Candy Burris. Kyle Richards was there. There was just a whole bunch of women. And Suri, who we were wondering, you know, will Suri want to go back on reality TV? You know, because after Big Brother, it was like a long show. And Suri's like, I just want to go home to honey. I want to put my robe on in my own house. I don't want to do this anymore. But Suri did say she wants to do Amazing Race, which is great. But she said with Jared. I mean, I know it's her son, but Suri, I love you, but read the room. Read the room. No, you can't make Fetch happen. You can't make Jared happen. I'm sorry. He had his moments, but don't say Jared. And obviously, Candy Burris as well. How could I forget? From Celebrity Big Brother. What's POV?
What's POV?
So I wonder if Suri and Candy, I would love for Candy to have Suri on her show on YouTube. I would love that, so that they could talk about Big Brother, because now Candy, I totally just forgot that Candy was on Celebrity Big Brother for a minute. I don't know how. It was an amazing season with her and Tamar and their feud, and them working through it, and then Tamar to go on to win. What an amazing season. So I would love for them to collab on Candy's channel and really get to hear some Big Brother opinions, because I'm sure Candy was like, yeah, can you imagine if Candy or any of the celebrities had to be in the house as long as Candy's house gets sent to. Candy's probably like, how did you even do that? Okay, so here's Sari at this variety event with all the women, which this could have been maybe a next celebrity, maybe all-star celebrity Big Brother Women's Alliance. I know we're not supposed to talk about women working together, but a women's alliance. Pretty iconic. Could be very, very iconic. I would like to see Sari and Candy working together. So people were, I think Sari was styled, looking great. I don't know how I feel about the bangers, even though I'm pro bang. I kind of, you know what? I like it that it's something different. I think Sari was in the house for so long and wasn't able to change her hair that now she's probably like, yes, let's do it. And this little suit combination, this power suit, I really like it. Definitely really like it. So it was the Variety's game-changing women in one room. So it's like all these game-changing women were there. And here's another picture of Sari that I took from her social media. I do the stalking, so you guys don't have to. Ivana says, yikes, her fringe. I mean, it's a look. It's a look, you guys. It's definitely something. But I think after being in that house so long, in a robe, same hair, you're just going to be like, let's take some risk, take a chance, make a change, and break away. But I really wish Sari saying she wants to be in The Amazing Race. Great. Probably won't watch it. I don't watch The Amazing Race. I just cannot get interested in it. And I'm not sure why. I couldn't. I thought maybe when Janelle and Brittany were on it, I could get into it, but I couldn't. But I wish she would have said like Izzy or even Felicia, even though allegedly her and Felicia are not getting along. And we will get to that as well. So, but anyone but Jared 2024, okay, for Sari's partner. Anyone, I'm sure Jared will go on to be on the challenge or something. He'll be fine. I'm sure she wants to get him some work. And she's like, hey, I want to get my son, it makes sense, into this reality TV world and make that cash money. But he just, no. But I'm sure the challenge will call him. Why not? Okay, let's see. Where else are we here? Okay, let's go back to this one. And okay, so we already pretty much played that whole thing. All right, so she talks about losing her phone. Let's see, I think this is the one where she says she hates Derek and Cody.
Like it wasn't ever going to be me. He was so loyal to Izzy and Sari, and it was just so frustrating. And at the end, I'm so stupid. Like, I should have known with Blue. I had been trying the entire season. The vibes were always off.
Okay, so this is where they were asking her about who she was working with, and also Jared and Sari being mother and son, and who she was working with, and how she wishes she would have played
really good friend.
that a little. It'd be nice if she would have known, obviously, because now she's saying everything makes sense, and that she really does. She felt good friends with Jag, even though he would not listen to her, and we saw that on the feeds of her constantly going to Jag, and Jag's like, no, I think I know I'm good. And it's like, you don't. So America trying to help him, and they just couldn't get on the same page.
From the beginning, I really wanted to work with him, but he was already in this 7 Deadly Sins thing, and he thought it was real. And no matter what I said, it wasn't ever going to be me. He was so loyal to Izzy and Sari, and it was just so frustrating. And at the end, I'm so stupid. Like, I should have known with Blue. I had been trying the entire season. The vibes were always off. I did feel awful when, she made that final 2 with me, and I immediately went to Corey and ratted it out. So I guess a lot of it was just guilt from that. And I'm like, I'm not a girl's girl. Like, why I betrayed her for Corey. And I kept talking to Corey about it. I was like, I feel really bad about this. And he was like, no, America, he's trying to make me feel better. Like, it's okay. Like, what else were you supposed to do? She told you that you were going to put me up. Like, that's so, dumb of her. And I was like, okay, I guess. But I just kept trying until the very end, obviously. Like, I told her that she was a target because I wanted her to trust me and Corey more than Matt and Jag. But it was too late. Yeah.
I'm a girl's girl.
So loud.
Ew. Who is that? I guess I wasn't. I'm a Corey's whore. That's who I ended up being. Yeah, I mean, I was just really trying to work with her. I thought we had a lot of things in common, and I thought it could work.
What about outside of the house? Are you two good now?
I haven't really talked to Blue. I don't really talk to anyone in the cast, honestly. I mean,
only Corey.
Only Corey, pretty much. Bowie. I mean, surprisingly, the person that I talk to most outside of Corey is Jazz. Jag's brother.
Jag's brother.
He's like always hitting me up, long ass paragraphs. I'm like, yeah.
I think Jag's brother is preparing to be on a future season of Big Brother because he is very involved in Jag's live. And I'm like, who's this again? Oh, Jag's brother. Okay.
Oh man, yeah, give me a second. Like, let me get my life together, and then I'll think about doing a live with you or a TikTok something. We'll figure it out then. But for now, like, let me breathe a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What does he want to talk about?
I don't know. I don't know.
Did I see a video of you yelling at him in a parking lot one time?
You did see that. Yeah, there were a couple of videos.
Did you see that, Taryn? No. Yeah. Did you tell him to go to hell? Or literally F off?
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah.
Allegedly. No, I think I did. I mean, we're just goofing around, first night out of the house. I didn't drink at all finale night. I was just so nervous. So second night, I went crazy. We were at Blues Mom's restaurant, and it was just us. It was a more intimate gathering. So, yeah, I started drinking. I was like, let's just tell Jazz off, right? Why not? Oh, and while we're at it, let's tell Mimi off, too. She's here, too. She deserves some heat. So I started going off on Mimi, and I was like, Mimi, like, I wanted to work with you. Like, you would never give me anything. So that's what you saw. But I haven't talked to Mimi since. I haven't talked to anybody, really. I talked to Jack quite a bit. We saw Izzy today. That was fun. Her and Paige are great. And we saw Miss Miranda Bowie Jane yesterday. That was fun.
Mm-hmm. How is Bowie?
I mean, she's all right, I guess. I don't know. She's been traveling everywhere as well. We're just talking about the game with her. And she's like, oh, I wanted to work with you guys. And I was like, oh, then you should have.
Yeah.
Then you should have evicted me during your HOH, Bowie. Come on. Then maybe you could have won. But let's be honest, she didn't care about winning, right? And she told us that at dinner. She's like, oh, like, I had this 4-hour-long conversation with Jag about how I understood if he wanted to cut me for Matt, and I was like, get the check. Like, let's get out of here. What do you mean? So yeah, she did end up paying. It's the least that she can
And
do.
we talked about that, how Bowie Jane, even in the season, was like, I didn't even care about winning. It's intense. I just kind of like being here. I just got to make it to Jerry because I'm renting out my house. Remember, that was Bowie Jane. And to hear her now go out to dinner with Corey and America in New York and tell them, I didn't really care about winning. Okay, America, how did your game change? And I'm going to say for the better when Jag joined the mafia with Matt. Oh, you went to Jerry? Oh, sorry. So again, as much as we had fun with the Bowie Jane impressions and, impersonations and stuff, we do have to stop casting people who don't even want to play and don't want to win and are just there to be there. Just there so they have some place to stay. Just there for followers. We gotta stop it. Stop it already. The better.
Yes.
Yeah, I figured also, speaking of Mimi, if you needed something like after, a heavy...
So they're talking about the acetaminophen.
I mean, I know what Twisted Tasks was.
So it was the...
Okay, so apparently Mimi couldn't say tasks. She kept saying task in Twisted Tasks, and so they kept having to replay it. Not that interesting. Okay, let's see what this one is. Let's get to it.
At me. But yeah, I mean, I love it. It's been really nice. It's a fun way to interact with fans.
Cameo.
It's actually so funny because last year I got a cameo for my birthday from Janelle, and it's like one of the best birthday presents that I've ever gotten. And Janelle's there like, happy birthday, Merry Christmas.
Okay, so we kind of already heard about this.
Yeah, since you've gone on, where even...
Okay, I think some of those we already heard. Let's get to maybe this one. As it gets juicier and juicier.
Yeah.
What is he talking?
That's it. So they play a clip that when Corey said, can we cut that from the record? And America's like, what is he talking about? And then we start getting juicy.
He's talking about his position in the game, I believe. He's talking about how, like, I think in this circumstance, it was when Felicia came to him about like Suri or something. He was like, the fact that Felicia's worried about Suri, that is what we call shmoney.
Oh, I'm gonna tease him about that. That's so lame. That's so lame. Oh, and he's so wrong. Like Felicia doesn't care about anyone. That doesn't mean anything. She talks shit about every single person in the house.
Or you know what? It might have been them coming to her about Felicia. It was something to do with Felicia and the rift that had been forming.
Of course he did.
Did you say Girls Alliance? Don't say that out loud. No women working together, Blaine. You know the rules.
Well, yeah, I heard they don't like each other, Felicia and Suri, at all.
Yeah, well, yeah, what's going on with that?
I mean, because Suri wasn't happy when she came into the jury house. She was pissed off. And she was just talking so much shit about Felicia that we're all like, was it Felicia's HOH that you went out on? And she's like, no, it was Matt. But Matt's all right. Matt's my guy. I'm going to go vote for Matt.
Felicia cut her toenails on Suri's bed. Did you know that?
That's pretty bad. That's disgusting. I'd be pissed too. I'd be calling her a bitch too if she did that to me. It was bad. We could hear it from like the scramble room. Corey would be in the scramble room. We could just hear like Felicia like cackling about something. We're like, what happened? And Suri's just sitting there like shaking her head, like she just.
But America, can't you get them back together? Like, shouldn't Suri and Felicia be friends after the show?
I mean, I'm not the one to talk. I'm not friends with like anybody this year. So what do I care? I don't know. Suri can do whatever she wants. She's a legend. Felicia's an icon in her own way, right? I saw her
in her own way
when she's opening up that package and the phone's upside down the entire time. I'm like, that is classic Felicia. She's just like so unintentionally funny. She's great.
We have some questions from the listeners also.
Okay, so America basically spells it out that no surprise here that Suri and Felicia are most likely not on friendly terms right now. And if you watch, Felicia on these Instagram lives, you get little hints to the fact that there are certain women and men from the show that Felicia, she'll say, oh, I don't really hold a grudge. Okay. But she makes these little references that there are some people she might need a little bit of time from. And it seems like Suri is one of those people. And also we knew Suri was probably going to feel this way about Felicia because her post-eviction interviews, she seemed pretty annoyed with Felicia. They spent the most amount of time together with each other and in that house. And, they had, there was a lot of friction. There was a lot of, when after the Izzy thing and Felicia feeling as though they didn't have her back and her not being able to pinpoint why Jared and Suri were so close and why she couldn't penetrate that, for lack of a better word, we knew that there just was a friction that came between these two women. And also with all Felicia's farting and her burpees and the gas talk and the toenail cutting, I mean, Suri was just done with it. And then Felicia, I think, probably she did feel some type of way towards Suri. So unfortunately, the two queens are taking some time apart, but I feel like eventually they'll come back around. Suri's done this enough times where I'm sure she is at a point where she puts her boundaries out. Like, okay, we can be okay, but I'm not going to be everybody's friend. So I think eventually they'll probably talk. Now, will they be the sisters and family? I don't know. So unfortunately, two of my faves, but they can't all get along. And then America also saying that Felicia talks shit about everybody. So, and we know, no love lost between America and Felicia either. I mean, they went at it and had a fight that made it to an episode, and both very opinionated. And Felicia wasn't really a fan of America Corey. So it doesn't really surprise me at all.
Justin Feinberg wanted to know, has Corey convinced America to watch Suri's season of Survivor yet? He said he watched a couple seasons of Survivor.
Okay. Who cares about that?
It is. It's crazy. I'm one episode in.
Okay.
Corey hadn't been there. What would your game have looked like?
Okay. Yeah. It's hard to say.
It wouldn't have been as perceived as eating. He still is like beating himself up about it. He's like, oh, I should have known. I still don't.
They talk about Suri and Jared. And I guess Suri and Jared brought into the house the same kind of like expensive, fancy toothpaste. And so there were people speculating. I don't remember that rumor. There were people speculating online, and Robin Taryn asked her, did you notice the fancy toothpaste? And she's like, no, I did not notice that. All right, is this one next?
Like weird, like really fancy toothpaste.
Okay, here it is.
And I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't pay attention to things like that. I was,
my first thought when I see two people having the same toothpaste is that they must be mother and son, personally. So.
You should have been in the house, Taryn.
What toothpaste do you use, America? Because I don't know, you might be related. I'm not sure.
What else did they say? There's like, there's so many clues. One time, like he like slipped up and said, that he was Jared Fields. It's, lovely or whatever.
Well, the biggest one that we thought might.
Do you guys remember him saying that he was Jared Fields in the house? So America's saying that Jared effed up by saying he was Jared Fields. And maybe they took it as a joke because he called, Sari and Mama Felicia. And I don't know. But I remember the Fiji comment of how he was like, oh yeah, I was on national television when I was 18. I was in Fiji. And you're like, oh, were Survivors taped? And then he was in the family episode with Sari at that time. And Corey, being a Survivor super fan, you think he would remember that, but he had the game on. So I don't remember the toothpaste thing, and I don't remember him saying he was Jared Fields, but I do remember how sloppy Jared was about sharing the twist, the secret that Sri was his mom, and giving all these clues that we were very frustrated. Okay, Kara says, I think he said his coach called him Fields. Oh my God. This guy, he was a mess in this house.
Unraveled the whole thing is that I think you were there. He was talking to you and Corey about how he was on TV one time. You're like, wait, when were you on TV? And I think he said even like the age he was on TV, and he had previously said he'd been on Fiji at that time.
He's like, I was on national TV when I was 18.
Yeah. And we were like, oh, maybe.
I was completely clueless. And I'd never seen Survivor before, but I had questioned him about it. I was like, wait, what were you on TV for? But honestly, like, Jared and I never really spoke about anything ever other than like Breaking Bad. So I didn't really, I don't know. I guess at that point I just wasn't listening to him. I was like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes so much sense. It's yeah.
And then also like Izzy knowing from the start is big, and then Blue knowing not from the start.
And I was like, oh, maybe I picked the wrong showmance. Maybe I should have cozied up with Jared and known the big secret. But
Blue's gonna come after her for that. She won't get the sarcasm in her voice, and she'll be like, kitty purr, boots down on the ground. I knew you were coming from my man. Nobody comes in between boots, kitty purr on the ground, me and my man. Blue is gonna feel some type of way about that comment.
We were talking to Izzy, and she's like, yeah, like I pulled him night one. You can see it as the credits are rolling, that she's pulling him aside, and Paige, her girlfriend's like, yeah, and Bowie's right there witnessing everything. And
she's so loud too. Izzy is like very loud about it, and Bowie's just watching them.
I'm like, I cannot wait to see that, because I'm like, I know Bowie was just like head empty, zero thoughts as she's watching this take place. Like, this is the most important interaction, for the season. Like, Izzy knowing was a huge thing, and Bowie's like, whatever, like, it doesn't matter.
I have no concept of time.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I forget that Bowie saw and probably heard that whole interaction, or at least parts of it, and was like, whatever, okay, you see. Yeah, I think, what, now that I think about it, I think someone did mention that they were related to Sari, and it was Jared. I didn't really care. Didn't really have a concept of time. Just trying to stay in here until the people move out of my condo that I own in LA that Cam wants to stay at when he does his auditions. Is in teams. Other than that, didn't know when that's going to happen, because again, need time.
The whole time that you were in the house with Corey, there was all this talk about Core America. Meanwhile, outside.
Okay, boring. Nobody cares about that. So there was a shady part, and I don't know if I screen recorded it. I might have to go back into the actual video. Again, if you want to watch this whole interview, it's a long one, but it's worth the watch. You can go to Rob Has a Podcast and check it out. BB25 America Lopez postseason interview, where she shades Riley. And I think that's when she was talking about what would have happened had Corey not been in the game. She says something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing here, she would have probably been a week 3 or something evictee who then is on social media trying to be an influencer, or a blonde influencer selling likes and something. And I was like, oh, that's shade to Riley. It was good. I don't think I got the clip of it here, but if you watch the interview, you'll pick up she shades basically the whole cast selling, yes, Drago, selling likes and follows. I was like, huh. All right. Love it. That was probably my favorite one, because I was like, oh, that's Riley. And now we know Riley got dumped by Matt. He dumped her. What a shocker that an Andrew Taint supporter would treat a woman like that, would just throw her away after she takes all the pictures for him and his social media at The Bold and the Beautiful, writes him a letter, you know, brings a Q-tip in between her tots to the finale. Who would have thought? A man who's like, I think it was Andrew Tate who said, like, no woman is worth it, and like anything can be fixed with you and your boys. If you can get a circle jerk together with you and your boys, you don't even gotta worry about these bitches, man. That's like, I don't know. It was either Andrew Tate or in the Bible. Oh, I can't remember. So definitely go back and look for America's shade throughout the interview. And she was just so effortlessly delivering because it was what she really thought. And it was so funny to watch RHAP kind of handle this because they're like, you know, because they're not gonna co-sign. You know, I feel like Taryn can get a little shady sometimes, and that's fun. And Rob can too. But at this one, they kind of just let her do her thing, which I think is good. But there were some points where you sat in the silence for a minute, and I'm thinking, America, I hope she knows that those of us watching are like, yes, yes. And when she imitated Blue, and she said you could hear Blue in the Humillaverse room, I think it was, or the Scrambleverse room, in the DR, even though the DR is insulated. She said you could hear Blue during this doing her kitty purr character, which she really thought Blue did it because she was an influencer. So to come out of the house and America find out, oh, Blue isn't really an influencer. She's a strategist, but I think she's an aspiring influencer. And that this is just who she is. And she says this kitty purr stuff. Because America's like, I thought she had like a big, you know, audience or fandom that was just probably like waiting on her to say these things. That's why she was doing it. But to find out she was just doing it, I think though she was doing it to gain a fan base. And she was just speaking in TikTok. That's how when she was like, crusty, musty, dusty, I was like, oh, my 9-year-old niece says that all the time. She told me one day I was crusty, musty, and dusty. And I was like, I did not know. I mean, I think I know, but I don't know what that means. So Blue and the 9-year-olds are crusty, musty, dusty. Taryn did say that. It was like that Blue and how Blue and Jerry's like, no one outside of, no. Mm-mm. So they do have their moments where they can be a little shady too, which is nice. It's refreshing. I like when people just give their honest opinion because it's, you know, it shouldn't take away anything as they're recappers and stuff and they have a podcast, but they're human and they're the audience and they have their own opinions. And I think you can still watch someone even if you don't agree with everything they say. I mean, you can't make everything. No one's ever going to agree with all of your opinions. You're always going to find people that go, that's not right. So I do like that, you know, he's letting his opinion out because he should be able to, you know? Okay, let's listen to this clip.
He's so funny. He'd come out and he'd be like, oh, I gave him like 7 different takes for
okay, so he's talking about corn.
Clip. I heard that one's really, really funny. And we heard about it from her in the house. So.
Everyone's talking about Felicia in the haunted house and how she goes out the front door and how Blue and Cameron thought for sure that America, Hakuna Matata, however you say that, the Lion King, because that was the safe word if you wanted out of a comp. They thought she Hakuna Matata. Why can't I remember that? Hakuna Matata. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's a problem-free philosophy. And she's like, no, I just don't like scary things. I don't like haunted houses. And I was trying to get through it as fast as I could, but I timed out.
Like, that's hilarious. I cannot wait to see her walk. Not being a big part of the episodes was a little.
Okay, so now they ask her, what's the most surprising thing since you left the house? And I'm like, Cameron being America's favorite player.
I don't know what haunted house y'all were, you know, huddle. And I was like, oh, in a haunted house. Up and I was still like, I tried my best and I just sucked.
She sucked at the haunted house. She said, I sucked. Who cares?
Brandon Mullet has a question. Other than Jared and Sari, what's the most surprising thing you found out after leaving the house?
I thought of this earlier. I guess
Julius.
Izzy not being a big part of the episodes was a little shocking. Because the entire time I was like, oh, Izzy's the villain. And she's got to be a great villain. You know, Izzy's just like so charismatic and like really passionate about things. And like her eyes will pop out of her head when she's talking to you. Like she's really like emotional. She's so fun. So like knowing that, yeah, she's not a big part of the episodes is kind of weird, especially considering that she was like kind of running shit.
Yeah. Weird for us too.
Yeah, for the first like half, right? Or up until like she left. So that was surprising. Mimi's storage room talks, I had no idea they were happening. I was like, Mimi, why couldn't I be in the storage room with you? We could have done like a storage room alliance. Like, that's all I wanted from you. So that, Cam being like the hero of the season.
Thank you.
Surprising.
Not to him.
Oh, I know, but he knew. He knew all of this was going to happen. Just like he knew that he was going to come back Zombie Week and the Resurrection Rumble was going to happen. He called every single. Just
Cam
like he knew
knew
that
it all.
Jane was a lawyer, which I'm still not convinced he found out.
Now, what you're not seeing here is America rolling her eyes while she's talking about how Cam thought he knew everything.
Or he just came up with that on his own. But whatever. I think that's it. Hisam being a doctor, I totally didn't see that coming. But other than that, I don't think so. Oh, okay. Blue not being an influencer was a shock. I was like, wait, so this is you? Like, you're just like this? You know what I mean? Like, this is Kitty Purr is not for fun. It's not for social media. Like, that was
just
shocking.
The thing that people say.
I don't know, maybe in where she's from in Riverside, California, but I've never heard that here in New York. But yeah, I was like, that was crazy. To this day, I was like, there's no way. I questioned her about it.
No, Riverside, California, I don't hear Kitty Purr. However, I think we've all established now that she just steals from drag culture, right? Is that kind of what her character is coming from?
So much in the jury house. I was like, what? I was like, no, you're an influencer. She's like, no, I'm not.
Did you hear her reasoning as to why she lied about her job?
Because she's a strategist, whatever that means.
I mean, if you had known she was a strategist,
everything would have been completely different. Yeah. I would have been like, oh, she has a brain. No, Blue's great. And I never underestimated Blue. I mean, she was smart. Like, come on, she was doing really well in the quiz competition. She was, placing second, third, and like all the vetoes. She was up there. I didn't think she was dumb, but I just didn't think this Kitty Purr character was just her, like herself for fun. Like, I thought she must have had like an audience that liked that shit, and that's why she was doing it.
No,
because I could hear her from the scramble room in the diary room. Like, that thing is insulated, and I could hear her yelling in there. I was like, oh my god, like the Kitty Purr fan base, loves this. They're eating this shit up. Why?
There's a lot of cat people that love Big Brother.
Yeah.
Some people on this podcast.
Yeah, are they Kitty Purr fans too?
Darren?
Obviously, yeah. And Wolf Gurr, I think.
America, I had seen on social media that you are moving, correct?
I think so.
Yeah. Could you talk about your move?
So yeah, I mean, I was like, I really wanted to come to New York after the show. I love New York, and most importantly, I can't drive. So New York is like a great place to be. But after thinking about it, I was like, why am I going to make our relationship, me and Corey's relationship, long distance if it doesn't have to be? I don't have anything really tying me down to New York. Nashville seems like a cool city. I've never been. He has space in his dorm. So I'm like, why not? Let me just set up my little air mattress in there.
So she's going to move to Nashville. I think she mentioned looking for possibly her own apartment, because we know Corey, his university he goes to, they have to live on campus. I don't know. I think I remember her saying that she's looking for apartments. So I don't think she's going to air mattress it in his dorm, but maybe at first. So they're looking at January, February. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. I mean, they're giving it a go. I mean, Matt and Riley are donezo. Blairid, we don't really know. I'm sure they're banging it out when they can, but we'll see. I mean, maybe I didn't think it was good. I mean, we're still in the, newly out of the house. And she basically is saying, after living together for so long, why do I want to put distance between us? She's already graduated college. She doesn't want to be a receptionist anymore. She's looking for another job. She's going to try a new city. Yeah, I mean, she's definitely not fucking in the dorm. But maybe she'll like Nashville, but isn't that where Riley is? I mean, I'll stand America now for the end of time, because for multiple things, but mostly for her unfiltered opinion of the Hitman, how she is not going to kiss the winner circle's ass and go over there. That I will stand the rest of my life, because I am so sick. I said it earlier and I'll say it again, of these house guests coming out and kissing Cody and Derek's ass and going over there, or like living at Todrick's. It's played out. It's done. Do your own thing. You got more heat on you than the winner circle. and having to go over there because it's boring. If anything, Derek is doing his own thing, killing it in true crime. I'm not gonna knock him for that. But Cody's takes on Big Brother are trash. They're trash. They're his, so I'll give him that. But they're trash. They're boring. And why kiss his ass? And she was very honest. America was like, I watched BB16. I hated the hitmen. I hate the hitmen. I don't want to go on their stupid show. I don't even care. So I love that about her. Like Corey Cauliflower's takes on Big Brother are such trash. And go watch Traitors and watch how he was embarrassed by Suri. This guy has no game. He had Daddy Derek set it up for him. He got in the all-white alliance in BB22, which I guess was a season. I don't remember. And now he thinks he's saying something and doing something. And it's like, we don't need it. We don't need it. No, thank you. Thank you, sir. And just, he's annoying. But he exists. God bless. God bless. Okay. All right.
It's like there's a couple of tricks.
Okay.
Exactly. That's funny.
Mm-hmm. And then what else is coming up for you?
Let's see if she says anything else.
Going into it, like, that's your hesitation. I don't think you need to be, we're working on.
Or you can get some other people in a chokehold.
Yeah.
Like Derek X, his predecessor.
Yes, that's a great comparison. She reminds me a lot of Brittany Haynes too, because you're getting like these unfiltered opinions and she'll be able to throw shade in a very likable way. And I love that.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm. And then what else is coming up for you?
I don't know. I mean, as of right now, we're just traveling, waiting for things to settle. I've been trying to catch up with, just family, friends, everywhere. We're going to Providence tomorrow. We're going to meet with Turner.
Okay.
From last season. That's
yes.
Fun. And we're going to meet with Michelle Costa as well.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Super excited to meet.
Yeah.
Okay, stupid question, but why, when she said this, I was like, I have to Google real quick. Who's Michelle Costa again? Is that like a Survivor person I should know? Or Michelle? Wait a minute. This goes Big Brother deep. From Evil Dick? Dan's season. No, what season is she from? What season is Michelle from again? Is she from 10 or is she from 8? She's from 10. I'm getting her and the lady that cried all the time confused. Michelle? Oh my, she did acting? Oh my gosh. Okay, so for those of you who are dumb like me, where I'm like, Rennie, you know all of the, obviously, Dan, Memphis, Rennie, okay, Jerry. All right, where did it go? Where did it go? Keisha, I mean, all right, where did that screenshot go? I was like, who the fridge is Michelle Costa? I don't even think I've ever said her last name before, but that is a deep cut. That's a deep Big Brother cut, is Michelle Costa. Oh my goodness. I wonder if they've posted about this or if they'll go live with Michelle Costa. Oh no. I forgot she said that. BB10 is such a wild freaking season back before, social media, so many things. BB10 was just unhinged. So if you remember Michelle, she's like, hey there guys, hey buddy guys, I'm East Coast Michelle. And the eyebrows are I was a teenager in the 90s. I feel the pain. Oh, the red leotard. Classic. Okay, so they're going to meet up with Michelle Costa. Interesting.
I had a meet and greet like 5-6 years ago. So it's going to be like a, full circle like moment for me. I'm super stoked. But other than that, yeah, just like focusing on the move. That's like the one thing on my mind. I'm like, okay, I got to find an apartment, figure out the job situation. Because like I was a receptionist here in New York before the show. I quit that for, Big Brother. And it's like, I'm not going to go back to that.
Yeah. What kind of work are you looking for?
One that paid.
I think there's a future there.
She said, I'm going to just survive off cameos for a while. And do it, girl. Do it.
Don't show blue.
Oh, shoot. This is where I think she ripped something.
Because like I was a receptionist here in New York before the show. I quit that for, Big Brother. And it's like, I'm not going to go back to that.
Yeah. What kind of work are you looking for?
One that pays. I don't know, one that pays well. I really, at this point, maybe I'll survive off of cameos for a bit, TBH.
Yes. Would you be an influencer?
I don't think I could be. I'm kind of camera shy.
Practice your kitty purrs.
Oh my God.
What's the best you got?
Kitty purr, boots down, slay, America 1, Corey 0.
Wow,
It's pretty good.
Yeah. I think there's a future there.
Don't show blue. She'll talk more shit. Please don't show blue.
Also that you were a big fan of Josh Duhamel. Did you have a chance to watch any?
Okay, who cares about Josh Duhamel?
Which was good.
Yes.
But yeah, he was very nice. Nintendo Switch, that is done. I have my phone.
Okay. She also talks about going over to Todrick's house and how she's glad Todrick didn't see her tweets from Celebrity Big Brother, because obviously when everyone was watching Celebrity Big Brother, we're like, what the hell is Todrick doing? And we always thought maybe Todrick coming into Celebrity Big Brother, him being such a fan of the show, he would be so interesting to watch. And he became this super villain, not in like a fun watching villain way, but in like a, did he just say that sort of way? And then never did any press after his season. So America was tweeting about her dislike of Todrick's game as well. And so she said he was nice, but she said, he had all these nutcrackers and it was like early November. Now I can't really hate because I like to decorate for Christmas early too. And I definitely thought of putting my tree up November 2nd. And the only reason I didn't do it was because I was lazy, but I did put it up soon after that. But the nutcrackers are a choice. They're a choice. I don't even understand why people love nutcrackers so much. Maybe I need to start loving nutcrackers. But that's definitely not my favorite part of the Christmas decor. Todrick rode Misha Tate's wheel to 50K. He really did. RHAP should hire her. Well, they did ask her if she wants to do some coverage of reindeer games with them. And she said that she would. At first, she was like, I don't know, because America has not watched a lot of the episodes or any. She's, seen clips and stuff, but she says she's not really ready because she's still, a little salty. She said not towards the players per se, but just the experience. It's so fresh. But I am very interested to see, and I hope she gives us her unfiltered takes of the episodes when she does watch them and doesn't let Corey inhibit her, fully expressing herself. He can have his little PC view, but I need her. Maybe she should give him some White Claws or something when they watch it. Get him a little toasty and then go forward and give us her opinion. And then maybe he'll open up a little bit about his opinion. So, America, she's like, I don't, like you heard, she says, I don't really talk to a lot of people from the season, just Corey. Now she did go see Izzy. She has seen Bowie. But other than that, I think everyone just needs a little bit of air from each other. They just need to be apart. It was the longest season. And they just need to have a little bit of space. Put a little space. So yeah, I'm sure she will. I mean, all the former house guests go over to RHAP and they cover stuff. But I do think, America, she's one of those people who I hope she does. I don't always want Big Brother players to start their own podcast or start their own channels. But I think hers, if she stays this unfiltered and just true to what she thinks, would be very, very entertaining and interesting. So love that for her. So much more. I can't fit it all into, this live, but feel free to go over and watch the full video. I mean, I think at one point she even says she doesn't like Cameron. She's like, you can tell him I don't like him. So she's not really feeling blue still. She's not really into Cameron. She says Felicia talks shit about everybody. She said Felicia and Suri are not friends. She threw shade at Riley, even though she's going to be living in Riley City, which is interesting. Matt, I don't think I got this on recorded, but she was talking about how at the end, she's like, I couldn't vote for Matt. I had to vote for Jag. She said I was closer to him anyway, so I probably would have. And I just didn't think Matt was running anything. And she goes, his speeches were horrible. His finale argument was atrocious. Like, she really went in on that and felt how all of us felt, is that Matt it was abysmal. I mean, it was the worst final two speeches I think I've ever heard. Even though she said Jags wasn't great, at least he said something of what he did. He delivered it in a very strange way that didn't fit necessarily who they saw in the house. But Matt didn't own his game. He didn't explain to them why he was any more than Jag's sidekick. And he just talked about the path to power and paper, rock, scissoring. He was like, we paper, rock, scissored. And you're like, okay, and what? He's like, so And I pretty much lived in the have not. No one's done that before. And you know how I got on the block? Me and Jag scissored. That's how I got on the block. We scissored each other. And I was like, what? Huh? So the way she just so, how she explains, so openly just how Matt's final two speech was awful. And not just the one where he talks about the paper, rock, scissoring. It's the beginning one where he's like, there was no leaders. We all did everything the same. It was like a commune of power, me and Jag together. We just worked together. No one was a leader. We just had the same thoughts. It was hive think. It was very group think. So it was crazy. Yeah, no, there's some great women over on RHAP. Shout out to Chantal. We love Chantal. Mary. I mean, there's just so many. All the women they have over there. I don't think there's someone I don't like when it comes to the ladies. Yeah, they scissored, and I was willing to do that. Matt said I was willing to do that. So give me $750,000. No. Yes, the worst $750K fumble we've ever seen. It was horrible. Melissa, the one lady that's there, she wears the cat ears. She's super cute, and she knows a lot about, like, she gets into like the showmance of it. So I kind of like her. So yeah. This isn't a sweatshirt. This is actually jammies. They're matching, and they're kind of those thermal jammies, and they're from Target, Kara. And they have, they're on sale, $17.50. So I have pants to match. Let me see if I can show you. Not that everybody cares, but look, they have little pants to match. So it's jammies. I woke up, took a bath, and put jammies back on. Fresh jammies. And I'm probably going to wear these all day because sometimes I'll throw a hoodie over it. With some Uggs, basic bitch fashion. I mean, there's some good dudes on RHEP too. I don't know everybody's name because I tend to pay attention to women more. No offense, all offense. But obviously, Taryn kills it with the daily updates. Puya is fun Fridays. I think he's great. Whatever the other guys' names are, they're great too. They're all great. They're just super cute, super smart. They got some great peeps. So shout out to them. And go watch the rest of this interview if you guys want to. Okay, so we got to get briefly into the Vanderpump Rules of it all. Vanderpump Rules is coming back in January. We're going to have such a busy January, you guys. We have Vanderpump Rules and Trader Season 2. Arguably two of the best reality TV shows on television right now. Traders, if Season 2 is half as good as Season 1 was, we are in for such a treat. So that will drop on Peacock, right? So January. And they usually drop them in like 2 episodes at a time, 3, something like that. Great cast coming up. I did a cast breakdown on a previous video. Just search The Trader Season 2 on my channel and you'll find it. Lots of Big Brother legends will be there. So we have that coming up. And Vanderpump Rules is starting January. And so they're dropping a lot of little videos, dramatic, that it's your time, and they're just like, we're picking up the pieces after the scandal of it all. And I'm so excited. And we also, you guys, I don't want to get everyone excited, but that everybody's favorite, I can't even say that with a straight face, everybody's favorite Vanderdump guy, Tom Sandyballs, has his own podcast that I sometimes roast and recap. And it's hard because he's got 2 episodes that I have to still roast and recap, and they're just painful. Okay. They are painful to watch. And it's Everybody Loves Tom. And there isn't even, any quotation marks over loves, which there should be. But not only is Tom going to be part of the scandal that has his own podcast, Rachel Raquel Levis herself announced yesterday that she is coming with a podcast in when? January. Yep, that's right. Rachel Raquel is coming to the podcast network near you, iHeart, I believe. I already subscribed on iTunes because I got to roast and recap this. In January, which very interesting timing because that's when Vanderpump comes out. But also, smart in terms of marketing because that's what you're known for. So we know she didn't come back to Vanderpump. She did that Bethany Frankel interview and then talked about getting her own podcast. And so her show is Rachel Goes Rogue. Okay, this is going to be a freaking hot mess, but I'm here for it. Okay, you guys, listen to the description of this podcast. So episodes aren't dropping until January, but they have like the little preview telling you what this podcast is going to be out now, or what it's going to be about. Now, listen, Tom Sandoval has had his horrible show. Everybody loves Tom for like 10 episodes now. So God bless, let Rachel do it as well. He has never left the spotlight. He is just keeping, he's just in our business constantly. And like, I'm still here. And you're like, oh God, just take a nap. So I'm actually, and he's thrown digs at Rachel. So I'm actually excited to see if she's going to throw digs back at him. I'm also interested to see, will she be talking Vanderpump? And since this is in January, will she be talking about the episodes? So we've had to listen to Tom Sandybutt be on a victim tour since this happened. I am actually, I wouldn't say excited, but it's maybe refreshing to actually get to hear what she has to say. Because there's been so many people out there going, forgive Tom, he's done the work, he's a great guy. It's like, he's done nothing. He's just been on a victim tour. He's learned nothing. Okay, so here's what her podcast is going to be, according to the trailer. Okay, it'll start soon, guys.
I'm Rachel Levis. This might not be the return you were expecting, but this coming January, you'll hear my side of the story. You may just be surprised by what you find out. I hope you'll join me.
Listen to Rachel Goes Rogue, starting January 8th on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, what? That didn't tell me anything. Let's listen.
January, you'll hear my side of the story. You may just be surprised by what you find out. I hope you'll join me.
Listen to Rachel Goes Rogue, starting January 8th on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts.
Okay, so just her side of the story. Okay, all right. Okay, sure. I know they'll be edited. So hopefully she has a good producer, good editor that maybe they could speed up her voice a little because Tom's is horrendous. I don't know. Again, I don't want to say I can't wait, but I'd rather hear Rachel right now than hear Tom. I'm so tired of hearing Tom. And I'm tired of hearing the bots that Tom bought and the weird ladies who like to go to his concerts, judge the rest of us for going. This dude hasn't changed. This dude is still blaming women for all of his problems. If you listen to one of Tom Sandybutt's shows, you will hear him and his little cronies, Jason with the laptop on his lap that he never uses. It's just covering up his tots and his boner. And then occasionally Tom Schwartz on there. It's just them blaming women, basically, and trying to rewrite history on Scandival and be the victim. So we'll see. But iHeart will give anyone a podcast. Well, they should give me a podcast, I feel like. By this time, if everyone gets one, they haven't given me one. I mean, I haven't tried, but they should give me one, I feel like. NYC Girl Forever. I mean, I wonder what we'd be surprised at. I would like Rachel to come forward and tell exactly what went down. Shit, get messy, girl. You're going rogue? Okay, show screenshots. Do you have any? We know he recorded you without your consent when you guys were doing the ditty on your privates and you were doing fingerlings on yourself on the FaceTime. We know that he allegedly filmed that and saved it to his phone, which is what Ariana found as proof that you guys were having an affair. So now I hope you recorded him too, and not doing that kind of stuff. But I hope you recorded any voice notes you got, all the text messages, show it all, mention it all, because I have a feeling Tom is going to try during this upcoming season of Vanderpump Rules to get us all to believe his little victim narrative. And I have a feeling that people might just try to turn on Ariana Because that's unfortunately what happens with women in this situation, or two women in this situation. But also, we've gotten a little bit of spoilers saying that, Ariana might be not the villain this season, but we'll see, you won't feel sorry for Ariana or something. Because, Tom loves to spin it of how Ariana deserved this. You guys, she wasn't wanting to have sex with them. Well, again, I'll say this till the end of time. It's hard to have sex with someone whose genitals are in somebody else. And while you're asleep. So, oh my gosh. It's very interesting. Very interesting. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm excited. January is going to be so jam-packed, but very interesting that Rachel we knew she was going to do a podcast, but I thought she was going to do it. She was told Bethany it was going to be about mistresses. So, okay. Because we got to hear their side of the story. You know what I'm always wondering when I'm sitting home by myself doing my woman things? I wonder what those mistresses are thinking. Yeah. Just would love to hear about it. But again, I say that, and I also think, but I've been listening to Tom Sandy Butt for so long, try to spin shit. Bring it on, mistresses. Bring it on. Okay. Christy and Plants. Thank you, Christy. Obsessed with you, Jolene. Obsessed with you right back. Becky says, I think Sheena turned. I'm worried that our girl Sheena turned. I am worried. Well, if you want a little proof that it might, well, actually, this isn't really proof to, here's something I found interesting. Ready? Now, this could just be this. She's showing ultimate grace over here. But remember that Jamie Lynn, who was one of Sheena's bridesmaids, and she was the one, her and another guy, one of their guy friends, were the two that were at the Saddle Ranch with Rachel, Raquel, and Tom the night the dog died, their first hookup night. And they have a video of when everyone thought Tom and Rachel were just friends. Ariana's at home mourning the dog, and Tom's like, I gotta go out and drink because that's my job. And Jamie Lynn filmed Rachel and Tom, and she was like, I never posted it because they seemed oddly intimate when they were talking. And this is obviously the night they allege was their first hookup. I think was it in the backyard or in a car in his driveway? Just gross. So this Jamie Lynn was the one who came forward then and shared that, and yeah, we were there. And now she's in Rachel's comments going, wishing you luck, forgiveness, and a fresh start. That's actually really kind. It's very nice of her. But interesting because Sheena wrote a whole song, The Apples, about Rachel. I wish Sheena would write a whole song about Tom too, because I think he deserves a bad, bad song. I would like to see that. So I was interested to see who was commenting on this. And then Bronwyn, obviously. Bronwyn Wyndham Burke, formerly, I always want to say Wyndham Price, after Angel and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Wesley Wyndham Price, but it's Bronwyn. And she put a heart, because she's always trying to find a way to remain relevant, allegedly. Back to Tom's podcast. He's killing it on iTunes. 2.9 stars out of 5. So way to go, buddy. Everybody loves Tom. And I didn't do this review because I gave it 1 star on my review. But Embarrassed with Tamra says, stop using the word like after every other word. It's beyond annoying. Makes it hard to stay tuned. That's what makes it hard. There's so much more that makes it hard. So, love that for him, right, Alex? We love that for Tom. We love that for the Tom. Let's see. We are already almost an hour and a half in, you guys. So Vanderpump Rules, a lot of that popping off. Let me see if I had anything else. Okay, did you guys see in weird news stories, did you see this story about this guy? Oh my God. I just grabbed a screen grab of it and I haven't read it because necrophilia really isn't my jam. I know I look like it would totally be my jam, but it's not. But in the weird and not wonderful news, all offense. An Arizona man, you guys, this one, I'll show you here. So shout out to the state I used to live in for 6 years. Doesn't surprise me it's Arizona. Arizona man accused of SA, or sexual contact with 79-year-old corpse. Says he had a medical episode and fell on the body. I always love the excuses that these sickos give. So no offense, all offense, that's the face of a man who's going to defile a corpse. No, that's just, when you know, okay, that's the face. So Randall Bird, which is the name of a man who would allegedly defile a corpse, co-workers say they walked in on him sweating profusely with the zipper wide open. He was arrested a month later. Why did you wait a month? You know how many more corpses he could have come in contact with? With the hospital saying they were appalled by his alleged behavior. But he says, no. You guys got it all wrong. See, what happened is I was having a medical episode. So he was having an episode where he passed out and fell on the corpse. What? It's just, I think I just watched, what did I just watch that had something similar? It was a show. What the hell was I watching? Was it American? It was an American Horror Story. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's see if I have any other. So court documents are revealing the shocking circumstances surrounding the arrest of an Arizona man for alleged sexual misconduct at a hospital morgue. Oh my God. I miss the days when bodies just turned into vampires and you had to slay them. But now we have these pervs who are going to have a medical episode with their pants down and get sweaty. And he should probably work out because how hard were you working? All right. According to the documents, the suspect was arrested. This is according to Fox 10 in Phoenix, the morning of November 28th in Phoenix, but an investigation into the alleged offenses began in October. Holy shit. All right. The suspect has been identified in court documents as 46-year-old Randall Scott Bird. Have you ever met a Randall? That's good. Have you ever met a Randall? That's good. Lala's at home going, oh yeah, that makes sense. Here's what happened. Okay, so the investigation began November 24th when Phoenix police officers were called to the Banner University Medical Center. I feel like I've been there. Oh my God. For what was reported as possible crimes against the dead. Sir, you are going to be haunted by so many ghosts this Christmas. It ain't even funny, Scrooge. It's not even funny. Bird investigators stated, worked as a security guard. Oh my God. For the hospital. And as part of their job responsibilities, they will participate in the intake process at the hospital's morgue. How are they? I feel like there should be some certifications to do that. The intake process insists on taking custody of the deceased bodies transported to the morgue, verifying the identity of the deceased, and then placing the body inside a large freezer. I know, I watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I know how this works, where they remain until claimed by family. The process usually takes between 10 to 15 minutes. He only needed 2, but they were very sweaty. It was also learned that security officers do not open the deceased body bags and only manipulate the deceased bodies to place them in the freezer shelves, a portion of the court documents read. Investigators stated that the victim, identified as a 79-year-old woman, passed away from natural causes, was taken to the morgue at around 4:36 a.m. on October 22nd, and Bird was left alone with the victim after the person transporting the body left the morgue. According to court documents, 2 other security guards headed to the morgue for intake duties about an hour after Bird went to the morgue. When the 2 arrived, they found the main entrance locked from the inside. Oh, Randall, which they described as unusual. When the 2 unlocked the door, they found a freezer door was cracked open. Witnesses observed Bird, Randall, inside the freezer. He was sweating profusely and acting very nervous. How are you going to be sweating in a freezer? They stated that Bird had removed his duty belt, oh my God, which they observed on top of a gurney where a bagged deceased body was placed. Bird's zipper on his uniform pants was wide open. and the rest of his uniform looked all messy. Read a portion of the court documents. Investigators also said the victim's body bag was completely unzipped and the victim was facing down. You nasty. Witnesses explained that the bodies are never placed facing down and they never unzip the body bags. The two witnesses, according to investigators, noticed that a portion of the victim's body was exposed as a result of her hospital gown being rolled up. You are going to hell, sir. Oh my gosh. Bird started making statements about having a medical episode and fainting. Oh, he just fainted with his zipper down. His wiener needed some air. Okay. And said he grabbed the victim's body as he fell. Oh my God, you sicko. He stated that the body bag tore open. The zipper broke. These are some tall tales. Witnesses stated neither the bag nor the zipper were broken. Oh my gosh. So Bird, investigators stated, was interviewed on October 25th after he was read his Miranda rights, not Bowie Jane Miranda, but the Miranda rights. Bird said he had a medical episode again in the morgue's freezer. Dude, this medical episode, stop. And could not remember what happened. A search warrant was later executed on Bird, which involved DNA samples being collected from Bird. Eventually, Bird was connected to the alleged crime via DNA analysis. Oh, God. Okay, that's enough. That is enough. This is freaking disgusting. You, sir, are a nasty, nasty man, and you look like it. You look like you do that. You look like you do stuff like that. Nasty. It's right out of the Inquirer. It is some gross. It's a chain of unfortunate events. But again, you guys, he had a medical episode. Feeling very faint. I know when I feel faint, first thing I do, get my vagina out. You got to get it some air. That's where you're losing, blood flow. And I just start sweating, and I always grab a corpse. His explanation is, oh my God, Colleen, I try to find like weird stories. And this one I was like, I'm sorry, what? What 46-year-old Randall from Arizona? He's up on my screen. I can't even I'm just looking at his nasty ass weird penis head and I can't. So, oh my God. Am I going to be talking about Diddy? I don't know. It's like I want to dive into that, but I'm also hesitant. So let me know if you guys are interested in diving into the whole Diddy case, allegations, all that stuff. But that's another one. It's like, relative of the Dahmer, for sure, Mad Chatter, for real. Ryan said that's like when somebody cheats and they say they fell on top of the other person. We fell. We had an episode. Every time I do something now, I'll be like, every time I walk out of Michael's with an item on the bottom of the cart, I'm like, whoops, I forgot about. They're going to be like, did you pay for that? Oh my God, I had an episode. Why are your pants down? Because it's an episode. It's a medical episode. My pants are always down with a medical episode. Okay, you guys are saying we got 2, maybe 3 for some Diddy coverage. Oh, yeah, it's so bad. It's so bad. I was looking a little bit into it and I was like, oh. I actually went back. I'm such a weirdo. Looking at old Diddy Instagram lives that aren't up anymore to see if I could, any sleuthing, but they're really boring and he really thinks highly of himself. And I mean, he can be blamed for so much. Was Suge Knight right about P. Diddy all this time? The awful Suge Knight, was he right about this man? Oh, I think Philly Diva, shout out to Philly Diva. If you're not following her on Instagram, follow her. She does great Bravo stuff and just a great content creator. I think she has taken a dive into the Diddy stuff. So maybe I'll ask her if she wants to collab and we can talk about it. So, oh my gosh. Yes, we talked, Donna, if you missed it, we did do a little investigating into Anne Marie, the new housewife on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Her husband, who has a horrendous past himself, on my most recent Beverly Hills episode recap. So check out that video. We pulled up articles. We read what he's being accused of, and his response is crazy. So take a look at that if you haven't already. Yes. Oh, we need to hear from Aubrey O'Day, because Aubrey O'Day, do you got a first aid kit handy? So Aubrey O'Day and Danity Kane, obviously, I remember when Making the Band and all of that, was on MTV, and it was such a big deal, and it was like early reality TV and this competition, and how Diddy treated Danity Kane. It's crazy to look at it all these years later. And Aubrey was always, as cuckoo as Aubrey is, which she definitely is, she always kind of called out Diddy, or has been for quite some time. And I just think because she is so out there, and other things she has said, people didn't necessarily take her seriously. And, and she's a woman. Who listens to women? So, but yeah, I would like to hear from her, but I need her to like bring us the old Aubrey O'Day, not the one that's like been in LA so long. Love your tree in the background. Thank you, Colleen. I just decorated my mini. This is my little 4-foot pink tree. And then that's my office tree. And I like this one. It's really easy because this is the one where I just have a hodgepodge of ornaments that kind of mean something to me. And then some balls, which also mean something to me. So yes. Thank you. I'm feeling very festive. People are telling me I should check the Squid Games. Oh my goodness. I think Steven told me to check that out too. So much to check out, you guys. So much. All right, you guys. Well, let's end it with that and our last creepy story. But you guys have been, almost 200 strong this whole live, and I appreciate each and every one of you and all your thoughts and opinions in the chat. Thank you all so much for your support. Don't forget to hit that like on your way out, and definitely comment in the comment section. I knew it was you, Steven. You messaged me about this, didn't you? Steven, Couch Potato Queen. Shout out to my friends. Maybe I do have to check that out. So this was a really fun No Offense, All Offense. Love you guys so much. I'll be back very soon with some more content. Again, hit the like, leave a comment after the video posts. I love to hear from you, and it helps me in the algorithm. Follow me on social media at Joleen Lunzer on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. And I'll talk to you all soon. Remember to enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. Bye.
If you like what you